I tell people
apps
I'm a
now.
programmer, because I don't know. It's the same thing. It's just like
Yeah.
we've somehow somehow a more fashionable word for it, but it's the same thing.
I don't know what to tell people I do these days. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I could say I'm a programmer. I don't know.
If they ask what you do, just tell them at work they call me IT Dave.
There you go.
That should do the trick. Or just pick
Usually
random.
I'm in e-commerce or I sell women's handbags.
That sounds so weird. This episode is brought to you by Smile.io, the loyalty platform trusted by thousands of the fastest growing Shopify Plus businesses to increase repeat purchases, reward VIPs, and build lasting customer relationships. Smile helps businesses become more profitable while discounting their products less. You got to be careful with the discounts. You don't want to push too hard on the discount pedal. If you're ready to turn transactional sales into lifetime customers, start building a more profitable business with Smile.io today.
I'll just retweet.
Oh, no. I'm going to delete it. You have to tweet it. You need the credit.
Don't delete it.
Shit. Dude, what is your problem?
I don't need any Twitter credit.
All right. Good enough. Retweet's good enough.
Yeah.
Plus, if I can be so honest, you're barely carrying, what's the word? Carrying your own weight when it comes to the podcast promotion.
I know. I should just promote more. I gotta get in there.
I need you to step up, dude. I need you to step up and take ownership because all of the sales reps on our team have to have quotas. So expect your manager to reach out with a quota because
oh no,
yeah,
I quit.
We're formalizing our performance review standards. So
I don't have enough Riz to be a salesperson. I just can't do it.
I highly doubt that. Highly doubt.
I can't talk around things. You know what I mean?
Talk around things
redirects
and stuff.
More like anytime I have something to say, it's not flowery at all. It's just I don't know how to.
I feel like you actually generally have pretty elegant ways of explaining things. I feel like I just blab, and I feel like you're more
No, blab is a skill.
You say things smarter. I feel like you say things smart and I say things dumb. I want to be smart too. What can I do?
Eat some French fried potatoes. What's your Halloween costume today? You still walking around with the kids or anything like that?
Bro, I'm walking with the kids. We went so far as to invite our friends out here to go with us. And I have zero in the way of a costume, dude.
You just got to get one mask and keep it forever. And that's what I do with my wizard hat.
Yeah. See, that's such a strong move, dude. The wizard hat is perfect for you. It's so on brand.
It's aging well, too. It's getting old and crinkly.
Dude, so you just friggin' whip it out. Instant Halloween costume. They're like, good to see you, Dave. Got the same costume from 9 years ago.
That's right.
Do people ever call you Dave? And do you just backhand them if they do?
Sometimes they call me Dave. I never backhand. But I do have a consistent alternate persona. And anytime I need an alternate persona, it's Crazy Dave. It's like a word and then Dave. If I need to sell something on Etsy or something like that, it's like Sales Dave or that's when I need to be someone different, you know?
Okay. Dude, I didn't know I had a whole functionality to unlock new personas for you on demand. It's like per branch unique URLs that you just spin up. Effortlessly, dude.
We got a data Dave. We got an IT Dave. I actually have like a recurring calendar event every morning at 10:30 a.m. that's called IT Dave. And that's when I do my, like, does anyone need a computer right now? Does anyone need to get into Dropbox or whatever?
See, dude, you're just like effortlessly cool. That's what I like. Putting IT Dave on a weekly calendar rotation is just like, it's just cool, dude. I don't know how else to say it. Oh, man. What you been jamming out on lately?
I have been trying to get Codex in all the places to try it out.
Dang.
My boss was like, we got to pump the token numbers on this AI usage. All right, well.
So I was on to something when I was talking about performance metrics. I didn't realize.
Yeah, the tokens, that's where it's at. I took a screenshot last night. We just crossed over 1 million tokens this year. Nowhere near close enough to get a trophy, but
because they showed the leaderboards. They launched the leaderboards, the token leaderboards. That's hilarious.
I'm missing out on a ton of tokens because I was using Claude Code for a long time, but now that I got Codex running, those will pump.
You just are blasting it with like 9 gigs of log data and just being like, can you figure stuff out about our traffic patterns?
That's what I've been doing to Claude. But also, like, all of the tokens that we use currently with the ChatGPT API are like literally I'm using GPT Vision, so it's all images tokens. Right. So I'm just sending a ton of images for alt text generation. I got to figure something else out.
That's a good one, though. That's a really cool one. Alt text. Is that working well? Like, does it feel like the alt text is like noticeably better?
Oh, yeah, it's really good. It's It was the sheet that I set up like a year and a half ago, and it's just a Google sheet, and it like puts in the alt text into a column, and then someone can go in and be like, yep, that looks good.
Right.
And send it off.
And then you just rerun it on a loop against the same like 300
products. Oh yeah,
you have
zero optimization.
you have it run continuously and compare the new version to the last version and ask it which one's better, and just keep running it.
We're gaming the system
24
already.
hours a day. Nice. It's funny. It's like, hey, let's use more tokens. You do that, and then the boss is like, I saw you were using more tokens. Nice job. Nice job, Dave. And then you're like, thanks.
That's Token Dave.
Token Dave, yeah. It's funny. It's like pushing tokens is like the new pushing pixels.
I know.
I gotta start pushing some tokens. Nice.
What about you? It seems like you've been like doing a bunch of random stuff lately.
I've been all over the fucking map, dude. Oh my god. I tried to jump on the minis thing.
Yeah.
I guess this week because I guess I saw a tweet about it, and so then I started doing that, and it's been cool. It's a little bit infuriating because
new APIs.
And stuff. Yeah, weird stuff. Fun business. But also, it's like
your idea, though. Have you gotten any feedback from anyone on that?
So, you're talking about the swipe idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So, since nobody listens to this podcast, even though we did hit an all-time weekly high,
we're getting there.
But it's kind of nice to like not, because once product managers are listening to shit, you have to be more like mindful of that. But we'll get there eventually. But no, anyways, I got a little bit of feedback from the team. I basically just asked a couple questions like, oh, is this a good idea? Blah, blah, blah. I asked about one idea, and then the first idea was a mystery box idea, which I literally just got from ChatGPT because it's like these minis are so new. I don't really have like an intuition. I usually like to have like some intuition for what I'm building, where like, something just kind of occurs to you, But I'm like, okay, I've always wanted to get into one of these new app surfaces at like just the right time and then just skyrocket to success.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, here's my chance. So, but I didn't really have an idea. And they're like a different thing. They're weird. They're not like apps. You can, in theory, tie them in with apps, although it's a little bit weird as to how you would do it. But they're really different because there's no merchant install. The end customer kind of clicks a little auth screen and it shares some of their buying preferences with you. And then you're off to the races. You can query products across all of Shopify. And so I was kind of trying to figure things out. So I kind of mentioned the mystery box idea. They were like, yeah, sounds good. And then I was like, cool. Let me go figure out what a mystery box idea means. And so I think I asked you for some feedback. I DM'd a couple people. I'm looking on YouTube. And there's a lot of mystery boxes where literally it's a mystery until the thing arrives at your door, which I guess makes it kind of fun or whatever. And then you were telling me about the Labubus where like you get the reveal once you complete the purchase, which also seems fun.
Well, you can choose. You can either reveal it at checkout or get a mystery box that you open when it comes to you.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. And but so then
the way that the like post checkout one works is if you like it can kind of track which ones you've gotten and then you get like points towards like something. I don't know. I only ever did one, but it's kind of like an extra little game situation.
Oh, cool. So it sounds like they've really somehow like unlocked some game dynamics. So then I kind of got some feedback on that, and the feedback was kind of like, well, you want things to happen in app, and obviously within the Shop Minis, you don't have any control over the post-purchase Shop app page. So it's like more like, hey, make it a fun little daily habit, viral or whatever feedback loop type of a thing. So based on that feedback, I was like, the swipe idea just kind of occurred to me. And then I was like, oh, I like this idea. Like, it's a little bit whatever. It's a little lame, but like it could work. So I'm like spending a shitload of time on it the last few days. And then they kind of sort of gave me a little bit of a heads up that like this Tinder idea has been attempted like 10 different times at the hackathon and none of them were approved. So I'm like, wait, why? I don't get it.
You will.
But the UX guidelines do have some details on there that I think I'm going to try to adapt my idea to a little bit. Like they want like daily habits where like there's a thing that there's like an action you can sort of like complete in a day so that like as opposed to like a never ending scroll, like there's like more of a gamified like do X things today type of a thing. So I think I'm going to submit it anyways and just try to put some of that stuff in there.
Can you build in like push notifications for your app mini?
I think it has these things called updates that you can send, which I haven't looked at too much, but I think they're like almost like posts. Like
you're
doing
I know you can do that as the merchant, but I wasn't sure if you could do it as like a shop mini. Or is it is it that the shop mini gets installed by the merchant and they can set that stuff up?
No, so it does not get installed by the merchant, which it's weird. I kept thinking that was the case. It just gets the user just auth. It's just there, and there's no app ID for it or anything like that.
Does the user decide to install a mini?
Yeah, they basically click on it, and then it pops a little auth screen. I mean, it's not exactly an installation, but it's like I guess technically, it's just like a little auth, and then they get into it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out like where did this idea come from? Like, does this idea exist in Amazon? I'm like, no, I don't think so. But apparently it's actually sort of similar to like WeChat, which is that app in China that's like massive. It's like it has everything in it. Like you can pay your rent with it. You can like pay for anything in the entire country with it type of thing. And they have all these mini apps. They're actually called mini programs when I looked it up, which is kind of funny.
Probably sounds better in Chinese.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I always make fun of my boy Colby. Shout out to Colby because he says programs sometimes, and I'm like, they're not called programs anymore. But I think it's awesome. But I tell people I'm a programmer, because I don't know. It's the same thing. It's just like we've somehow there's somehow a more fashionable word for it, but it's the same thing.
I don't know what to tell people I do these days. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I could say I'm a programmer. I don't know.
If they ask what you do, just tell them at work they call me IT Dave.
There you go.
That should do the trick. Or just pick
Usually
random.
I'm in e-commerce or I sell women's handbags.
That sounds so weird. I was actually looking at your site a little bit because I was doing some stuff with like product content generation,
Uh-huh.
and I was doing it for this one site, this one client, and because basically I'm looking at their product descriptions and they're pretty small, and I was like pretty sure that like it's not good. I know some people have smaller descriptions intentionally and stuff like that, but I was trying to figure out if it was just that they just don't have a very like thorough content process. And so I looked at some other like high-end furniture sites and they did have sort of like more kind of SEO friendly type descriptions, but they were also like quality, like it didn't feel like a cheesy, spammy
Yeah.
like description. So then I was working on some prompt stuff to generate them, and I was like, oh yeah, let me look at your site too, because you also have like a super like luxury premium type site, and your descriptions are insanely short.
Yeah.
At least the couple products I looked at, but I think it feels like it's the right thing to do because your whole thing is like minimalist, fewer things but better things or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I did a whole like chat GPT. I was like, pull this site in and talk to me about their brand voice and their like tone and their like, and it explained those things. I was like, oh yeah, I remember David talking about that stuff, like fewer
Yeah.
things but better things.
Yeah, I love how good the bots are at pulling out the fewer better thing because that's definitely one of the big things, and it's on our like brand pages. So I guess they scraped all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
we've done a lot of testing around descriptions, like not necessarily testing shorter and longer ones, but we know like for us, our creative is like really strong, and that's what sells the product. Like we
Oh
know
yeah.
the more time people spend on the site, or like if they started their session on the homepage, which is super creative heavy, that they're more likely to purchase. So like text is kind of not that important because people just don't really read it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, we've tried putting that description in different places on the PDP, and it always performs best like being up in that kind of top spot. So it does
It
something.
it really does look really good and really like crisp, and it's like it's so short. It's almost like written well. Like I read a couple of them, and it's just this nice kind of unique, like kind of flowery or not flowery, but it's easy to digest just from blinking at it. Because you're like, and the product shots are so nice. You're kind of focused on them, and then it's like easy to absorb. I was trying to tell myself that it was under optimized, but then I was like, I don't think it is. I think it's kind of perfect. but but if you haven't tested it and you're always needing to come up with testing ideas, I would submit that it would be worth a test.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe what
Beef
the
it up.
test would be is like, okay, here's our current product description. Here's all the rest of the data about this product, including all of the below the fold content. And then based on all of that content, make the description a little bit longer and then A/B test that. That would be cool.
Yeah. You know what would be interesting to test too is because you don't want it to take up a whole bunch of like vertical real estate, is have some kind of indicator that you can click like a little expander jobby to see the full description.
Oh yeah, we tried
And
that too and it failed.
did it really? Wait, but so you tried it with your existing product descriptions? Just the
Yeah, because some
existing
of them
one.
are longer, and so we cut it off to like a few lines or something like that. I think
And
they
that
might
one
have
did
only
not
done
work.
that on mobile. Yeah,
Interesting.
but your mileage may vary. Depends on the merchant, I'm sure.
Do you remember how like strong the test results were? Like statistically, was it like
I don't. It was a while ago, and I bet our like testing stuff is much better now. So like, there's a couple
got to
tests that we're like, we should retest that because it's been
got
a
to
while. You know?
got to retest it? Got to
Yeah.
retest it.
I'm really focused
Um.
on checkout testing right now, which has been pretty
Oh,
cool.
nice. Yeah, I think I know you mentioned a couple of your tests, but I don't remember what the checkout test was.
It was just a little bit of like messaging in checkout, but I met with this company pretty damn quick that I've heard from a couple people. Actually,
Oh yeah.
our Shopify rep mentioned it because I had mentioned something about checkout. they seem really interesting. There was a post today where, man, back on like forgetting everyone's names.
It's the worst.
It is the worst.
It's okay. Just call them person A.
Kurt Elster.
Oh,
That
yes.
guy.
Yeah. Podcaster extraordinaire.
Yeah, he tweeted something about PDQ. And what's really interesting is like something I really wanted to test in checkout was whether or not 3-step or 1-step checkout converts better.
Mm.
And what he was saying that PDQ is doing is they're swapping their checkout setting once an hour between those two. And so like it's not a before and after, but it's also not like a perfect A/B test where it's like exact same time. But
Mm.
it's kind of somewhere in the middle, and you can like that's what you have to do. But I was really interested in that because I think that's a really interesting way to kind of get through that limit. You know, like you can't really A/B test and check out on some of these big things, but
That is interesting.
if you can just swap back and forth really quickly, like for a week, that'll get you some data for sure.
And you can do it via the API, right? You can
Yeah.
change. Oh, that's cool. That's super cool. Wait, so what does Pretty Damn Quick do?
Oh, they do a bunch of stuff. You should check out their site. They have like a little bit of everything. They've got like the post-purchase shipping page. They've got checkout A/B testing. They've got this tool called Checkout Pulse. I'm like, why am I selling this product right now? Because I'm about to.
You just told me you didn't know how to sell stuff. Proceeds to sell stuff.
It's this thing called Checkout Pulse, which shows you like a bunch of metrics about dropped carts and like cart size bands and information about that and app errors that checkout has been seeing.
Use coupon code Quick Dave for
20% off PDQ.
So it's an app with a bunch of different features?
Yeah, and I think like the main thing is they just consume all of the data from checkout and come up with interesting tests to run.
Dang, that's smart, dude. That's cool. It'd be funny if you did a test where you put like a goofy message in checkout, like where you just said, if you don't finish checkout, I'm going to find you or something like borderline creepy.
I'll suggest that.
Yeah. Dude, there's this tool called CC Sessions that Revo Stewart tweeted about. It sort of adds this framework on top of Claude Code where like it's a little hard to describe, but it ties into Claude itself. So like when you install it, then you type kickstart and it like you're talking to Claude, but it's taking you through an onboarding flow of how to configure this thing. And it has this, it enforces this workflow where like anytime you're working on a task, it creates a markdown file for the task. And then it'll create a context manifest for the task. So it basically pre-caches all the context that Claude would have had to spend a whole bunch of time building up. And it basically caches it into the task file so that like the task can kind of stand on its own.
That's awesome. I need that.
Dude. And it does several other things. It's a little tiny bit overcomplicated, perhaps, but I probably just need to think more about it. But the way that the onboarding flow takes you through and the way that the guy's written it, I think his name's Toast or something like that. It's freaking hilarious. Like
Really?
It was just the funnest like onboarding flow.
I got to try it. Does it only work with Claude Code?
Yeah. You're like, dude, I got tokens to push, man. I can't be screwing around with Claude Code.
Oh, dude, I miss Claude Code. I've been trying Codex, and Codex works really good in VS Code. But outside of that, I was like just trying to do some of the similar stuff. Like I literally went to the same repository that I've been working on with Claude Code, and I was like, read my Claude.md file to get up to speed, and then tell me how many repeat purchasers we had last week. Because that's where I've got, like, I'm in that sweet spot with Claude Code right now where I can just go back into my session and ask it something, and it knows where to go to get all this stuff. I want that, like, I need to capture that somehow because eventually I want other people besides me to be using this, like, Claude Code setup with all this context. But I have no idea how I'm going to protect the context to not, like, get overloaded over time. how do I make sure that everyone who comes in gets like their own set of like context for when they're talking to this thing? And I just like, I'm kind of lost on where to go for that next.
Huh. Why would each like user need its own context versus, let's say, one set of context for how to grab analytics and stuff?
Because the way I'm thinking about it is while someone's using this Claude Code session, like I feel like I would want Claude to somehow take snapshots of the questions that people are asking and like save that SQL somewhere so that over time it could become something that's like a canned report or be adjusted over time.
Oh, nice.
And so the only way that I can think of that working is if they continue within the same session that I have, just like if they connect, it goes into the same. But I also haven't tried, like you've tried some of that headless Claude, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
does it start from scratch every time, or are you able to like load in context from previous sessions where you've gotten it to where you like it?
So I think the Claude SDK or the headless SDK, honestly, I don't quite understand how it loads context. I was kind of confused about that. So when I did it, I actually wrapped an actual command line with a file system. So it just worked exactly the same way as a file system so that you could just write to a Claude MD file. You could like have them per subdirectory. So you could have like different types of queries within certain subdirectories with their own Claude MD files or with examples. And then you could just set it up so that like if a user used something that was a new query or something, it could just write that to a Claude MD file.
I see.
But that feels a little wacky.
I guess that's the way you're supposed to do it. But like basically what I want to do is I'm talking to Claude Code. I feel like I've got a point where like, you know how like it's basically reinforcement learning while you're running through this set of like this conversation. That's all reinforcement learning within this window that you have. And I want to branch that and just make sure that every person that comes in starts from like some particular branch there.
That's crazy.
Because there's loss when you're like, okay, take everything you've learned from this conversation and put it into Claude MD. There's going to be a ton of loss of context. And I just want it to be the exact thing that I'm interacting with right now, but available to more people.
Yeah.
Maybe Sessions does that. Maybe that's what that's for.
Sort of, but it's also very geared towards tasks, and it's very geared towards like finishing a task and then marking it done. And then it actually saves it in a done folder. I don't even exactly know how it tells Claude to avoid looking at it because that would be confusing. But I'm not sure. But the whole concept of like creating a task markdown file and then creating the context manifest of like the exact context needed for that specific task is kind of awesome. And like I looked at one for an actual task I did, and it created like 19 pages of like the exact context from all the specific code snippets related to that specific thing. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. Maybe that's the right way to do it.
I get, but if you want multiple people using your same session, it feels like it would have to be a web interface. Although maybe the Claude web interface could be used for that. I think it basically creates separate containers for each prompt, just like Codex, just like the web Codex. I just got access. I think it just came out a week or so ago, the Claude web version.
Oh, really? I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, it's basically just like Codex with like less features. Like I spent a half hour trying to figure out how to get it to branch off of my staging branch instead of master, and I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I don't think they have that feature yet.
Yeah, the cloud thing is weird. I started with Codex, I started in cloud, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Because like you give it a repository that it should be kind of looking at, but every time you ask it a question, it like recreates the whole container from scratch every time you ask it something.
Right.
And it took like at least 10 minutes every time to answer a question that I had. So I just switched over to local and was talking to it from within VS Code, and it was way faster because it didn't need to, like it's using my machine as the sandbox.
Right. Yeah, you got to have a real asynchronous workflow for those things, which I'd like to figure that out. I mean, it's like the obvious use case is like you have some little bug that's not too complicated and you just want to trust it to fix it, and you You just want to write one sentence and then be confident it'll be fixed, and then completely stop thinking about it.
Like with a test scenario that it can go run the test and be like, did I fix it yet? No. Okay, try again.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you had a really nice system set up and you have a SaaS app and you got like all sorts of random little annoying bugs coming in, like that seems like it'd be magical for that. Like
definitely.
Instead of like for me to squash like 20 bugs that are all like not too complicated, but just the context switching would take me like days, but it could probably knock them all out like in like literally an hour.
I know.
And then, and if you already have a good unit test suite you've invested in, or even integration tests, then it's like you might not even need a person to blanket the actual testing it themselves. They might just look at the results, and that'd be awesome to do stuff like that.
I was trying to work on multiple things last night because I feel like you have to be able to do that with these agents.
Exactly.
And it was within VS Code, and I had 2 different Claude sessions going, and they're both making changes to the same code base. And I'm like, this is why Git work trees is the thing that Cursor uses. So I think I'm going to have to set up work trees next.
Dude, work trees confuse the crap out of me. But what's the project that you're doing it for? Does it have a database or?
It's our DBT stuff. So
right.
Like I was asking it, the way that I did this rewrite for the Shopify data from Fivetran, did I do that the right way? And it was like, no, you could do it a different way. So it just started working through that. And then on another one, I was like, okay, I need to update all these NetSuite things to NetSuite 2. And then started doing that. And now I've just got one big diff.
Nice.
So that's something.
So it's not like writing to the schema or anything like that.
No, I should have it. Like I should put that as part of its testing, is like just run a DBT select after you made this code change and see how the tables changed in BigQuery. That's probably the next step too.
But you are changing tables?
It changes the code that defines the tables, but I haven't asked it to run a DBT refresh. Okay. But that would be the next step. Like, okay, now run DBT refresh and tell me where this table ended up.
Okay. Yeah, because if you have a database like that you're writing to, then using Git work trees is going to still be a little bit of a nightmare.
True. But I care less about the database. It sounds weird, but I care less about what changes are happening in the database than I do the code, because you can just rerun. Like it's easy to update the database. Like it's not data that's being run off of for like delivering e-commerce. It's more
okay.
It's more like these tables get refreshed every 12 hours, and they're what's behind our flash report or whatever. So it's okay if something breaks for a little bit.
So they won't really conflict with each other if you had things happening in parallel against that database.
No, because they would also be somewhat separate tasks, so they would be updating different tables.
Yeah.
But then my problem is like I want to have a clean commit of each one of those changes versus both those changes going into one commit.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Like one task is working on Shopify tables, one task is working on NetSuite tables. They're updating different tables within BigQuery, but it's all the same code base locally, and I need to be able to split those apart.
Yeah. For the commits, something I've been doing, I want to do a better job of it, but it's not, I don't think it's too hard, is like, let's say you just did those both in the same session, and if you only cared about the commits, then you could tell it to commit, like, okay, go ahead and commit the first thing. Or even if you have 2 separate sessions running, you could tell each session, like, okay, commit only these changes.
Yeah.
Especially if they're different files. And then you tell the other one, commit only these. And then they'll like stage the correct files and like only commit their things too.
Totally. I bet that works. I'm like obsessive about looking at Git diffs and feeling clean.
Okay.
Like I got it. Like, okay, I see all these diffs, Codex, but let me go over here to my terminal and actually read the diff that would be committed.
Right. Yeah, sometimes I get more like I care a lot about having a really nice Git history. I don't know. I guess like if I'm taking more, like if the overall state of the project is like pretty high quality, then it's like you want even your diffs to be high quality. But then a lot of the time I'm just like, okay, it really doesn't matter that much. Yeah, like
it's true.
As long as it's working. I don't know. But like it is nice to be able to go through your commit history if you're looking for something and to be able to actually find something just from the commit messages, especially if you have to go back like 20 commits ago or something.
Which I like almost never do, but I still, still
Yeah.
don't know. But also, I feel like, have you ever heard of the Balmer Peak?
Yes, that
Where
sounds
like the
familiar.
optimal amount of beer that you should drink to be good at programming is like 2.5 or
Right.
something like that.
All right.
I feel like the same thing exists for working with agents. Like if it's getting really late at night and I'm like super tired, I care a lot less about what's going on and I just keep going and I just keep asking questions and it's doing things versus
Right.
like when it's in the middle of the day, I'm like, okay, what exactly did you just do? Should we keep
Right.
going? And I got to
Right.
stop. I feel like I got to break out of that.
Right. So basically, I think I operate at somewhere closer to the 2.5 beers just regularly.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little more forgiving with with things. But oh man, I was trying to just switch a stupid modal over from the previous Polaris modal to the AppBridge modal or the web component modal. The web component modal is like, which I don't know, I couldn't get it to work. So then I did the AppBridge modal, which I think is fine. But it was like, it was taking way too long. I hate when it does that.
Just like failing over and over again to get it
Yeah,
right.
it was causing weird bugs. Like the modal would open, and then if you tried to close it and open again, it wouldn't open a second time. And then it wasn't using some on close handler. And then like it wasn't showing at all for a while because it was like, I don't know. And then I guess web components are not compatible with certain other stuff inside of them. It was very confusing, dude. I think I finally got
And
it working now.
what is your like human in the loop part of that? You have it make a change and then you go test it yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I've tried to get Playwright testing things more. I could swear I got it to test a Shopify embedded app, and it just found the iframe because embedded apps are inside of an iframe, and it
Hmm.
just found it. It went inside of it. It clicked different elements. It was just magical. And the last time I used it, it could not get inside the iframe.
Weird.
So I was like, this sucks.
I wonder if Ghost
But
Inspector is nicer for that.
what is Ghost Inspector?
That's what I use for smoke testing. Anytime we push a commit and open a PR, it runs through like, okay, go to this product, add monogramming, add it to the cart, check that when the cart slider opens, the monogramming is there. Click the GIF box, does the GIF box get added? And it's just like a
Hmm.
small suite of things.
Hmm.
But I wonder if you could like force Claude Code to go run a Ghost Inspector test and then see where it broke in the output and then understand like, oh,
Mm.
I can't close the modal and reopen it, so I'm going to fix that.
Yeah. Have you ever used it inside the admin, inside the Shopify admin, the Ghost Inspector?
No, I haven't, but it's
Just off
just
running.
it does whatever. So you can, I guess you would have to code it to be able to log into the admin, which
Yeah.
maybe that's weird. But you could also
I
just have it like type in your username and password and just
yeah.
click through it.
I have Playwright open it, and then I just log in by myself with my own whatever
Hmm,
key, and then I just tell it to keep going. But it just
gotcha.
I know getting into iframes is tricky, and sometimes it's like completely blocked. I think depending on the cross origin policy. I don't know,
Oh,
but
maybe
it could not get into that sucker, dude. It was so annoying.
get rid of
Um,
cores. It was a mistake.
do you think so? I
I'm sure it's
no,
actually
right?
like very helpful,
Yeah,
but
that's what I
it's
figured.
just a web dev's pain.
Yeah, no, I know. Cookie banners, on the other hand, should
Oh yeah,
have never
get
been
rid of them.
invented. But that's more of a political thing than a technological thing. It's
That's
political,
right.
obviously. Do you know that reference, by the way? That's a movie test. Nacho Libre. It's political,
Oh,
obviously. Yeah. My whole
uh,
family, my sister-in-law, like if we say that one phrase, everybody starts laughing. Everybody knows exactly what you mean.
even though Nacho Libre was played by a gringo.
A what? A what, man? He did so good, though, dude.
I
He
haven't
was
seen that movie. I need to.
so good. And my wife's Mexican, and she's like, he seems so Mexican. Like, it's crazy how good I don't know how he did it, dude. Because he's literally speaking English with a fake accent, but it just, and the movie just feels so realistic. It's such a weird movie. I've probably watched it like 25 times. Like, we've watched it so many times. Do you have movies like that you've watched like a bajillion times?
K-pop Demon Hunters. No, I probably haven't watched that 20 times. But I kind of don't like watching the same thing over and over again. I want something new.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like somebody who wears the same Halloween costume every year.
That's just a convenience thing. Like I literally have 5 of the same t-shirt and I just wear those.
Right. Right. That's awesome. Wait, are you like literally that guy that wears this literal exact same black t-shirt every day?
Just about.
Same color and everything? What color is it?
Well, I have 3 black t-shirts and 2 blue t-shirts and 1 that's gray, and I just swap between those.
Dude, I totally want to do that. I've seen videos where they just do that. And I'm like, I've seen YouTube videos where they
do things.
I've seen YouTube videos where they go, this is what you should do. This is what I do. It seems like it's going to be weird, but it's really not. It's really great. People like it. You'll like it. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I should really do that. But then I'm like, no, I don't want to be a psychopath. I'm already enough of a psychopath as it is.
Well, it's nicer during the winter because that's just your undershirt, and then you can add variation with the hoodie.
Got it. See, you're pretty advanced with this, I can tell.
I'm so fashionable.
You got some advanced game. Dude, speaking of my sister-in-law, so she's sort of in between jobs, and she actually worked with me back in the day at a previous job. I got her a job there. She did QA. It was a software agency. I was a project manager there, actually. It was just before I got into Magento. And
interesting.
Yeah, so she was good. She was like very detail oriented for QA. And then she did like accounting and other stuff. And ultimately, honestly, the job was like sort of like stressful. Like I quit too. Like I think she ended up leaving it after I left. Like it was just a high stress environment. It was like, it was just, I don't know. But after that, she sort of got into more like retail work for a while. And then I think she's kind of putting feelers out. Man, she's really good with fashion, like very good, like she's sold. I don't know if you've heard about like Depop, but there's these secondhand marketplaces that are really popular. Like one's called Depop, one's called something else. Mm-hmm. And you know how thrifting and stuff is like super trendy? So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like reselling thrifty stuff for like more of a premium price. And she's done that, and she's like sold some stuff, and she's like super into skincare. Anyways, I think it'd be so cool if I could sort of like refer her to like a brand, to do like, I don't know, like admin stuff, or I just feel like she'd be perfect for it. And it'd be cool for her to have like a better, like a cool tech job versus, retail stuff. But she's super
detail oriented. That would be good for her. We just hired a content manager type person, and they're like the Shopify admin, build the collections and the pages, and make sure everything looks good.
Right. That seems like there's got to be a ton of brands that hire that type of a role, and I'd imagine it's the type of thing where you could do some different things. You have some admin work, and if you have really good taste with fashion, and you understand the brand, like the demographic of the brand type of a thing, I feel like there would be things you could get involved with on that side of things, or even just chime in on something. I don't know. Like
totally.
It seems like the perfect thing to where you could get in there and just like grow a career, do some interesting stuff, contribute in different ways,
Mm-hmm. Like get into the merchandising side of things. Like the way that we do it is like there's a bunch of work that goes into figuring out how the product is messaged and like which colors we're launching with. And then at the end of the line, it's like, okay, we got all this stuff. Now we need to build it on the site. But you can totally imagine like creeping upward into that, like what's happening before it gets to me, and get into those kind of things.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to do a little LinkedIn post at some point soon. Try to see if I can get her some leads.
Feel it out.
on a hot job. But I noticed that Seguno is hiring a customer support. Seguno is, I don't know if you remember them. They're an email app.
Mm.
Chris Geis. He worked in Magento. I knew him from, you must have known him. I forget what company he worked at. I got to pull this up. This is going to bother me. But basically, Chris, Geiss, he worked at Bronto. Okay.
Mm.
He was a product manager at Bronto. Oh, before that, he was IBM. That's crazy. Oh, shit. Before that, he worked at the NSA.
Whoa, he is reading the emails.
I just noticed that. Anyways, I remember seeing him at like an event. Like, it must have been maybe it was the first Gadget pre-party I went to. And he was there and he gave a talk and I saw him and just like kind of, we both recognized each other. He just gave me a warm smile. I was like, hey, man. And just a real friendly dude. And Seguno is a super native to Shopify email app. It's like Klaviyo, but it's like embedded. It's like super native.
Mm.
I saw they were hiring like a customer support. So I like replied. I was like, can customer support? I was like, I'm into it. And they're in like North Carolina and it was like on site North Carolina. And I was like, can customer support reps code stuff all day and not talk to customers? Because if so, I'm interested. And he was like, for you, sure. But I think I would literally move to North Carolina for a job. Like, that seems like a cool place to live.
Yeah, you'd be close to the beach. It might be cold most of the time, but
seems super chill, dude. Like
super close to Florida and super close to like New York and stuff if you want to do that.
Yeah. Seems like it'd be pretty out there. I've never been to North Carolina or South Carolina. I really want to go to both.
So that's what you're doing?
That's the move, man. That's the next move, dude. Move to North Carolina. No, but like I think if I was my sister-in-law, I would literally just move to North Carolina for a job. Like versus like, but shit, I mean, she has her, other stuff going on, but like
stuff going on.
Partner, but husband. So, but other than that, I would totally do that, man. Friggin' be a cool move. Okay, moving on. What was I going to say? I have so many things on the list. So many things on the list. So, I didn't send you a screenshot of my list. Flying blind.
In the dark.
So, okay, something I've noticed in Claude is that if you previously, even if it tried to read, let's say like a .env file that had secrets in it, like an API secret or key or something,
mm-hmm.
It would like complain loudly. It would be like, hey man, I'm not allowed to read this file. Or it would like ask for a confirmation or triple confirm. I just remember it was super paranoid and definitely 100% for sure if I accidentally pasted a key into the chat, like for example, a dev API key that doesn't really matter,
mm-hmm.
It would definitely be like, do not share any secrets with me. It is not. It was like, alert, this is not secure. And like, so the other day I'm like casually pasting a key into the chat, it's like it was like a dev API key, obviously.
Yeah.
I would never do it with a production credential.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Most likely.
But I realized it hasn't complained about that weeks. Like it definitely will routinely read files with secrets in them, not mention anything. And then when I pasted it in, it didn't mention anything because I was telling it to configure something via the CLI. So it just ran the command. It got to work. It saved the secret to GitHub Actions or using the GitHub CLI and everything. And then it occurred to me, because they're all super, we got to do everything right. Like we have privacy, They must have realized that they have no choice but to figure out how to take responsibility for never leaking private keys. I'm almost certain of it. And so it kind of makes sense, dude. Like your agent has access to a lot of stuff. It's going to have to learn how to put guardrails up on certain things.
That's interesting.
I'm pretty sure
They probably were like, we have way too many log entries of people sharing their keys with Claude. We're just going to turn this setting off.
That's what I'm saying. Like they must have seen the usage in the wild and been like, guys, we have to solve for this. Like, this is going to be dumbasses sharing all sorts of stuff. Just look at how many things are committed to GitHub. And then the thing has access to your file system. And I'm telling you, it reads my files without me asking it to, without me giving explicit permission. It reads my shit, dude. So it's already
and
doing it.
We're gonna be there eventually. Like it's gonna know all this stuff. Just got to be secure.
Yeah. So just everybody relax, okay? I don't want to
just share all your data.
I don't want to get any reader emails, reader phone call complaints that this is an insecure practice. Okay, particularly any clients who may be listening to the podcast. Because it's fine. Everybody relax.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Also, this was just a comedic bit. Obviously, I didn't actually do any of that. I just thought it would be good content for the podcast.
We rehearsed that ahead of time.
This is entertainment only. This podcast is for entertainment only. You should not be getting any information whatsoever from this podcast.
Oh, dude, I played Find the Shopify PM earlier this week, and it worked.
I 100% thought you were about to tell me about a video game.
I won the game. Find the PM.
Nice. And?
And they helped me. I was trying to figure out how to report on demand in the Shopify Analytics platform because we're running this like private sale right now. And the thing that was irking me is when you look at like the daily sales report, it always includes refunds, which are like, that has nothing to do with today's sales. Like, I don't care how many refunds we have from orders from 30 days ago. I want to know how much revenue we made today. And yeah, she helped me figure it out. It was like, I was just being dumb. You can totally like, in SQL, you know how you can like do math on a couple different columns and then name it something? So like A minus B as C. You can do that in ShopifyQL. And so that's what I did. And it's awesome. And now everybody is like, oh yeah, let's use this new report that actually does the thing we need it to.
Dude, I just realized that like the fact the ShopifyQL API came out or was announced, or I can't remember. I should probably be building an app with that, dude. ShopifyQL.
Oh, are there like interesting hooks for that?
Well, I think I gotta look this up now. I think that they released API access to ShopifyQL. I think we talked about it one time. I had this whole rant on like because they deprecated it. They had access, they deprecated it or something, and then they re-added it. I don't know when they added it, but I had this whole rant on it. But I don't know. Do you feel like
what would be added in there? Because it's pretty like it does what it does, and you can't go outside of that.
Yeah, that's true.
And I imagine you're probably not going to like add syntax into ShopifyQL. It would just be more like you're using ShopifyQL, potentially like limiting it to things that pertain to your app specifically or something like that.
Yeah, now that you mention it, probably the only move there is if you have an app that does something other than analytics. It's like now you can pull in analytics data specific to your thing. That
must be it. Because like in checkout blocks, there's this little widget at the top that shows like 400 views of this block. And so maybe that's how it's getting that is through ShopifyQL.
Oh, right. Dude, I had this really cool talk with this dude who was interested in the email AI app idea, and we were kind of jamming out on it. He's over in Denmark, but he's worked brand side a lot, and he has like an agency. We were talking about trying to figure out a way to send basically all of the data about a customer to a prompt so that you could just like figure out which product it would be best to recommend to like each individual customer one to one, and then just email them that. like at the right time based on also like looking at the timing of their other data, order data, whatever. So just like instead of like creating flows and sending emails and blah, 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 just literally have the AI go, which email does each individual customer need at which time, and just send it to them automatically. You just turn the thing on and that's it. That's all you have to do. Which I thought was a cool idea. But getting the visit data is a bit of a hassle. Like it would be so cool if you could because you mentioned having the view data on checkout blocks. And I don't think it's possible to fetch any analytics data in that sense, any page view type data, like from Shopify.
Like before you send the email, like not in like not click data for the email or like view to page from this email before that.
Like historical data. So the best you can do is create a pixel and then capture it going forward and save it yourself in your own database, which is going to have to be a huge database. But it'd be like, I think they're storing it. They're probably, I don't know if they're storing in aggregate or not, but that'd be so cool if you could just grab it and just do stuff with it.
Yeah, I agree though. I think it is in aggregate, and Shopify would probably never expose which person it was that visited this page 5 times.
Right.
But you might be like, you could do it based off of the customer's purchase history.
Yeah, purchase history is pretty decent, but as we were talking about, it's like you really want the view data too, especially if you're going to try to create some magical prompt that's going to be like very high quality. You would absolutely want the view data. So you'd be better off just capturing it going forward. But it'd be so cool if you could just capture historical out of the box.
Yeah, that's how they all do it. Is we might have talked about this at some point, but we used LTV.ai to do that exact thing.
Okay.
And yeah, it was kind of cool. It had like dynamic pieces in the email, and it felt like it was a person who was emailing you instead of like they're very text heavy, you know, so it's not like a really branded thing. It's like a concierge. And that worked well.
Dude, that's the other thing. That's a freaking great idea, is literally just write an email to each person, like a personal email with a product recommendation. And I know everybody's getting AI spam, like everybody's getting AI B2B SaaS pitches and stuff like that, which are super annoying. But if you're a customer and you are already expecting to get emails from the brand, you haven't opted out yet. If it could send you like, have the person have a name. My name's Brenda, and and hey, I know you really like this leather bag line, and I just saw this, and I just want to let you know I think it would go really well with your blank, you know, your pants, whatever that you bought, or it'll match. And just an actual like individual, like it legitimately feels like it came from a person. That feels like it'd be super powerful.
Yeah, those are some of our best performing emails, and we still do something like it. The AI is not in the loop, but the emails that are like a person sending you something like a recommendation. The problem is though, if you're acting like it's a one-on-one thing, then you're also going to need to make sure that you respond to every reply, like as a concierge, continuing the conversation. You know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you get those replies, that's got to be money in the bank. I mean,
totally.
That's got to be purchase intent. I mean, a percentage of it is just going to churn, and you're going to have a little bit more customer support burden. But I feel like that customer support burden is going to pay for itself like 100 times over. Yeah.
Especially if you have a specific model that's like, okay, this email that I'm getting came from a reply. Make sure I read what the reply is in response to, and then like continue the conversation versus starting from scratch and being like, hello, thank you for reaching out, blah, 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 you know?
Yeah, totally. That feels like it'd be cool. Wait, so this LTV thing, it basically calculates like the ideal product for a given customer, and then you insert it as like a dynamic variable into an email template.
Yep.
And then
along with some like other generated language,
like the content of the email was also generated individually.
Yeah, like it varies a little bit differently, because like you could inject product links, but then the rest of the canned text would be kind of weird, right? It would be like Like based
Yeah.
on what the
Okay.
product is that you're linking to, that you're probably going to put some surrounding text around it a bit different than if it was some other thing. Like if you're suggesting a keychain for your tote versus like a pouch for your tote, and you talk about them a little bit differently.
Right. Totally. Okay. So the whole email content, images, product shots, and the actual text content is all actually one to one.
The way that they do it is no images; it's more links because it needs to feel like it's someone who's reaching out, like
Oh,
someone who wrote it.
so it's literally the exact thing I was talking about.
Yeah,
And it works really well.
yeah. I guess Kalen's getting back into the email game. That's what it
Let's
sounded
do
like to
it.
me.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I honestly have not had any interest whatsoever in email. And also, it just feels like it's gotten so sophisticated that I'm like, there's nothing I could do anyways. But I've been starting to feel it, dude. I've been starting to feel the itch. And also I've been like, dude, I don't want to deal with like having to deal with that scale and all those privacy issues and whatever. But
Yeah,
there's really good tools now.
deliverability.
Well, yeah, deliverability and also like having really good queuing systems for sending like large emails.
Mhm.
Like, but I think that if you just use Amazon SES, I think that all
Yeah,
that stuff is
maybe
just,
tools are better now.
I think the tools are just better. I think I could pull it off, dude. I think I could handle millions of emails, no big deal. Like, not that it wouldn't take any work, but
You know the
I,
problem space for sure.
yeah, a little bit. Well, I know the 10 years ago version of the problem space, but it would be kind of cool. I mean, and that LTV thing is probably not cheap, right?
No, I don't think it was cheap. We stopped working with them a while ago, but we kind of like pretend like we still have it.
What is that? What is that?
It's not as AI heavy anymore, but we still do the like feels like it's a someone wrote you a note.
Oh, and what's the delta between those? Between the actual one to
Yeah,
one and the
that's what I'm saying.
pretending?
Like even without the AI generated content, it still performs really well with
And
like
so there's
no
not a,
images in the email. It's very text heavy.
yeah. So there's not a significant difference between the AI one and the non-AI one?
Oh, there might be, but what I'm saying is there's still a difference between our highly curated emails and the text heavy emails. Like there's a
Yeah,
preference for the
yeah, that totally makes sense. The text heavy ones in general would work. So
yeah.
would
But
you
I haven't
want
looked
so
at old
yeah,
versus new on the text ones.
yeah. So if you could press a button and just enable those one-to-ones, would you want to do it?
I can't remember why we stopped using LTV. I'll have to ask. There was probably some like professional services thing or something that wasn't working.
Huh, okay. Yeah, I'd be curious because that also the nice thing about that is it feels like it's something you can plug in on top of whatever you're already doing. I mean,
Yeah, especially if you
sort
can
of.
also gather like how does this brand communicate, you know, and like feed that into
Dude,
the context for each.
I was GPTing that up today and it was so cool. Like at first I GPT'd the content, right? The product descriptions for this other client.
Hmm.
And they like were longer and they had bullet points. So I was like, okay, that's an improvement, you know? And I just had to wire up all the app interface stuff and the prompting
Hmm.
stuff. Then today I was like, okay, let me think more about the actual quality of the content versus just it has bullet points versus it doesn't. And I was sending it to GPT, and GPT was finding some good things. It was like, well, it's using this repetitively. It's using, because I put some keywords in for branding, like work these keywords in, but work them in naturally. And it was like, well, it's a little too repetitive. So like kept refining the prompt. And then it just got better and better. Like I think that type of stuff, like brand voice type stuff, is like it's so good at it, dude. It was
Yeah.
identifying stuff about it came up with 10 different variables. It was like brand voice, level of complexity of sentences, like 10th grade level, reading level basically. Like it had warmth level. It came up with warmth level because like you could have a tone that's like formal, but I did a few iterations and it was like, well, this brand actually has a formal tone, but a warm formal tone versus like a neutral formal, a cold formal tone would be like legal or accounting. That's cold formal. Warm formal is like different. And I'm like I literally was learning stuff, dude. Like I was
Mm.
reading it and I'm like trying to figure out if it's being smart or if it's going to do some dumb stuff that'll be obvious for me to recognize. And I'm reading the way it's breaking down the components of like style, and I'm just learning shit. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
That's so cool. Just
And then,
like you're working on something, but you're learning something completely different about like just from interacting with the AI.
I love that so much, like when you learn stuff.
You know what would be
And then,
cool about this
yeah.
this idea with the product descriptions is the tokens are cheap. What if for every product you generated like 10 different descriptions and the GPT was like, here's how these descriptions differ. This one is a little more this. This one's a little more that. Like this one's FOMO oriented. This one is like more
Mm,
explaining the features. And
mm.
then your app also A/B tests those and tells the customer or the merchant like this one's outperforming all the other ones, and like it's cheap,
Oh,
like
that's a,
just do a ton of them and try out 20, try out whatever,
yeah.
and then you can publish the one that won or something like that.
Yeah. That's the type of thing where like, cause you know how you're always talking about how you're trying to find things to A/B test and it's like hard because it's like,
Hmm.
okay, we've already tested this, it's going to take all this manual work to like instrument a test and all this
Hmm.
content has to be generated, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, this is the type of thing that LLMs enable is that you can be like, okay, try 10 different of these tones or like go pick 10 different like copywriting. Like there's another thing it showed me. There's certain formats to product descriptions. So some start with like the brand story and then like how to information or like
Hmm.
I forget the words that it used, but there's structure to product copy. Like your guys' site has materials story was one of the elements of the
Hmm.
product descriptions. Or it was one of the elements of the brand or something like that. But it's
Yep.
because like you guys like talking about like the origin of your materials and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
Like basically the manufacturing stack that it's like
Right.
ethical throughout the ethical sourcing that you guys talk about that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and we even have a page dedicated to like here's a picture of our vendors that we've worked with for a long time.
Right. Right. Yeah, so there's like certain structures, like there's like five different structures of like, and then you have the call to action at the bottom or whatever. So there's just like all these specific things. It's crazy. So you could just test like 30 different things like that are all content related that there's no way in the world anybody would have ever tested that before
Yeah,
AI.
yeah. I feel like there's a lot of like open up the accessibility to testing things because we should be able to like we should test more and any merchants that aren't testing like you should test things, but the barrier to entry is like, okay, how am I gonna come up with like how do I instrument the test? What should I test? So yeah, just like install my Kalen descriptions app and we'll optimize your descriptions automatically.
Yeah. That's cool because you could do the A/B test, I think, within your own app too.
Yeah.
So then, right? Because you could just capture the visit data and then just literally have them click a button, go through, do three different tone, style, whatever versions, A/B test them and show them a result. That'd be pretty rad.
Hmm. Yeah, you'd have to have like some sort of script that you drop in that does like the identification of the customer, puts them into a group, make sure that the groups are all the same size over time. So like there's some complexity there, but that's also why like a lot of merchants don't test because all that stuff is kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
And the A/B
Yeah.
testing apps that are out there are kind of expensive.
Yeah. Dude. But then the thought that I had is that you might have conflicts with other A/B testing apps. Like if they have another app that's testing something, then you wouldn't want to like test it on top of that.
Sure.
But they could just whatever. But it reminded me, I had this one client where like I pushed something live and doing front end work. I've been doing front end work for them for like 6 months or something like that. Then I pushed something live one day and then they're like, oh, this broke this A/B testing tool that we have. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know about it. I was like, oh, sorry about that. We like fixed it. And then they were like, hey, can we set up a call to talk with like the vendor guy from the A/B testing company? Because they actually design the tests too. They like create the tests and run them for
Nice.
you. I was like, oh, hey, could we set up a call? I was like, oh, yeah, sounds good. So we had a call and then he's like, he wanted me to send every single pull request that I would do to him for approval before like deploying anything at all to the site, like
I
forever
feel like
going
there's
forward.
like, first of all, the merchant should be involved to some degree about what's a. It sounds like I just went into like a shenanigans.
Yeah,
I
dude.
gotta fix something here. Wait, this isn't me.
That's
Um,
shenanigans, Dave. That
that's
just almost
shenanigans,
came
dude.
out. But I
But
was
yeah,
like,
well, like
dude,
why
I'm
would they
not.
ask you to update something that's currently being tested? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, but that's the thing. I mean, that part I understand because there's one hand's not talking to the other hand.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
you know what I mean? That's where like therein lies the rub. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna for a SaaS vendor to tell me to review all my shit through them, and like he doesn't know my code. Like
Oh,
even if
no.
he's a decent like even if he's a decent developer, this dude's just gonna read all my diffs like
You should flip it
line
and
by
be
line.
like, tell me everything that you're testing right now, and I'll make sure not to mess it up.
Exactly. Yeah. No, what I said is like, let me see where your tests are, something like that. And then I'll do the checking. Like, don't worry about all that. And then their app, I go, oh, I try to go into their app and test something out. And I go, let's say there's two A/B tests. Can I click into the A or the B to preview what that test looks like? Which I would imagine is a fairly common thing
Very
if you,
typical.
very typical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't even have the ability to do that. They're like, oh, they're like, I'm not sure how to do that. And then they came back 3 days later and they're like, you can go into your cookie settings and enter this like unique ID for
Find our
this shit.
cookie.
Some bullshit, find our cookie and figure out some fucking formula. I'm like, dude, what are you on right now, dude? Give me a fucking preview button.
Yeah, come on. Usually the way that works with our A/B testing is like you just get a special param to put on the end of the URL, and that forces you into one.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I actually tested. Is I just grabbed the ID from the A/B test thing for the ID, and I tried popping it in. But yeah, it's funny once you get comfortable with like your job or whatever. Like everybody just loves trashing SaaS vendors. Like once you feel comfortable enough that you don't have to pretend to be nice,
Yeah.
people love trashing SaaS vendors. And it used to kill me because that was my first thing.
Yeah.
I worked as a SaaS vendor. And I remember it feeling so hard to get any respect at all. I was like, damn, I thought SaaS was cool. Like 10 years ago when I built my own little SaaS, like SaaS was cool. And now it's just people just enjoy trashing you. It's like, but now I get on the action now.
Yeah. Now you're on the good side. Look at
Yeah,
me.
because like
I'm
I'm
the
doing freelance work.
I'm the
Like
captain
I don't
now.
need to sell an app to anybody. I don't need to promote some app because of some bullshit partner agreement I have. So like
Yeah.
I
There's no
don't have
like
any.
12-year contract that you're in. You're just like delivering
Yeah,
value.
exactly.
Like once you're delivering value daily, that's kind of where it's like, okay, I'm okay here at the moment.
Yeah.
It's you that has the problem.
Yeah. I will say with the minis, I started out super optimistic and I was like trying to like get in touch with the team and stuff like that. And I was saying like it has the best developer experience ever and stuff like that. And then lately I've been like so frustrated and I've been like wanting to say all kinds of negative stuff, but then I haven't really said it because I'm like, okay, I have to be nice, but that's Shopify native.
That's
It's
it.
it's not an app. Can't really bite the hand that feeds. All right, broski. Good stuff, man. Do me a favor and have yourself a good friggin' Halloween, dude, because
Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat so much candy tonight.
I'm going to be having a good old time, buddy.
Good. Yeah, same to you,
Yes,
Kalen. Have a
sir.
good weekend.
All right, bro. Later, man.